All right, good morning, everyone, and welcome to our second session on paths to education, training, and employment. For some of you, this is for your first session. For many of you, this is your second session. So if you remember, we started with an outline of the course and what we are going to cover during the course. So last week, we generally talked about the education system in the UK. So how undergraduate and postgraduate systems work in this country and what are different levels that you need to take if you would like to continue your education. We also talked about the language learning system and the different language levels and different requirements for entry to university, undergraduate or postgraduate courses. Today, I'm going to focus more on entering undergraduate, which means if you have some kind of high school studies, high school diploma, that level of studies, and you are interested to start a university course, an undergraduate course, which mainly means bachelor course here in the UK. But before that, I just want to remind you of what we talked about last week. If you remember, the main aim of the course is for you to, first of all, to understand where you are in the education system of this country or in the employment system of this country. Because without knowing where you are, it is very difficult to plan for future. So that's our first aim, for everyone to understand where you are standing at the moment in terms of your degree qualifications, in terms of your university qualifications, and in terms of your language qualifications. And when you know where you are, then you can plan for your future. But before that, you need to know different options that you have. Again, options to study in the university, different options to go for technical training, work training, professional training, college courses, and so on and so forth. And knowing where you are and knowing what are the options, the choices to continue with, then you can plan for your future and achieve the goal that you want, having like a university degree, having a technical degree, finding a good job, and so on and so forth. So that's the plan. And throughout today, we are going to learn more about where you are and where the options that you have in terms of undergraduate courses. Again, a very quick reminder from last week. We talked about the different kind of qualifications, different levels of qualification in this country. So starting with level 1, which, if you remember, we've talked about, that's the level of high school diploma in many countries, level 1 and level 2, also known as GCSEs here in the UK. And then we have level 3, which is like they call it mainly A level in the UK, but it's like pre-university courses in some countries. And then level 4 is the beginning of university, is the first year of many undergraduate courses. And then it could be first year, it could be foundation year, and then you continue level 5, level 6, which is end of undergraduate. So you exit university with a bachelor degree, and if you are interested, you can start a level 7 course, which is a postgraduate master's course. And then if you are interested, you can continue with a level 8 course, which is like a doctorate PhD. But for the today, we are going to focus on how to jump or to move from GCSE A levels to university. The other thing that I shared with you is this booklet, and hopefully some of you've had time to go through the booklet and see for yourself in terms of how your qualifications, how your degrees, how your paperwork from your country works here in the UK. Very quickly, how to use the booklet. As you can see, if you open the booklet, can you see the booklet? If someone can let me know if you can see the UCAS booklet in red. Yes? Okay, great. Thanks, Wilfred. So you have a list of countries. Not every presented here. I understand some of the countries, like here in this list, you don't have Afghanistan, okay, for example. But most of the countries that probably we come from, you can find them in this list. I'm going to just check one or two, for example. So if you are, for instance, from Sudan, as you can see here, it says Sudan school certificate. So if you have a school certificate from Sudan, which is called SCC, which is high school diploma, end of secondary education in Sudan, they accept it, most universities, they accept it if your grade is above 50%, okay? So if you have Sudan school certificate or high school diploma from Sudan, and your grade is above 50%, most universities, they accept it as a GCSE. But whether it's a high-level GCSE or low-level GCSE, it depends on your grade. So if your high school diploma from Sudan is between 50 to 59, your GCSE is GCSE D. But if you have been a very good student and you have an SCC from Sudan between 80 and 100, then you have a GCSE A level. Okay, GCSE A, I mean. So the booklet is very good in terms of giving you some overall information about the value of your degree here in the UK. I'm going just probably to check one more country. Let's see. Well, Nigeria. So you can see again, if you have that Senior School Certificate Education SSCE or West African Senior School Certificate Examination. So in that's below A level, okay? So you cannot use it as A level, but that's around GCSE level. And based on your degree, whether it's excellent, very good, or anything else, it could be GCSE 1, 2, 3. Okay, so again, as you can see, many of your high school qualifications or secondary school qualifications or pre-university qualifications are valuable here in the UK. However, in some cases, you need to supplement it, you need to top it up with a UK-based degree, which I'm going to explain later. So make sure you go through the booklet and you find information for yourself. Okay, so the second point is about your language. And the same way that you need to understand where you are, whether you're level 1, 2, 3, or 4, in terms of qualifications, academic qualification or school qualifications, you need to figure out where you are in terms of your language qualification and language levels. And for most undergraduate courses in the UK, I can see questions coming up. I answer questions later when I make some advancement in our presentation. So for most universities in the UK, the entry level requirement for undergraduate course is this red arrow that you can see. Okay, so you need to have around IELTS 6 or functional skills level 2 or B2 in City and Guild or B2 First, C1 or C1 Advanced in Cambridge. So that's the level that you need to have. And then if you remember again from last week, we talked about IELTS is not the only option and it may not be the easiest option. So you need to think about what other options you have in terms of proving your language level and which one it takes less time and probably less money to continue with. Again, I'm going to talk about this today, but these are two really important things. First, where you are on this ladder. Many of you are between level 2 or level 3 or level 3 and level 4. And today we are going to talk about how to move further. And in terms of language, probably many of you are in moving from entry to level 1 and level 1 to level 2. That's your level of language for the level of language for many of you. But before that, if you are planning to entering university next academic year, which is 2025-26 academic year, because this academic year, 2024-25, starts from September. And if you have not submitted your application by now, it's very unlikely for you to be able to go to university this year. I mean, in September. But probably many of you are planning to start your university next year or the year after. But for next year, the deadline, if you would like to submit your application, is end of January 2025, as you can see on the screen. We are going to talk about, and then you have good amount of time to prepare yourself. So you have probably 6 months, 7 months, 8 months until the deadline, and it gives you enough time to prepare your documents, to prepare your grades, to improve your English, to be able to apply. If you need more information about the different deadlines, I added a link to the slide, and you can follow that link, and it gives you more information about different deadlines for different courses. But the general deadline for 2025 entry to university is January 20 to end of January 2025. So let's plan for everyone to submit your application by then. It's not a difficult thing to do, and we are going to talk about how to meet those requirements before the deadline. If you don't meet the deadline, there will be opportunities for late submissions, which we will talking about later. So 29th of January is not the end of the world, but it's very good if you can submit your application before that late deadline. You will have more options, basically. That's the difference. Okay, so if you would like to submit your application for university and starting September 2025, these are the main points. These are the main kind of information or documents that you need to have. The first one is your personal information, which is quite easy. So all of you know your personal information, date of birth, country of origin, and so on and so forth. So there will be no issue with filling the form, because that's an online application. There will be no issue with filling the form with your personal information. And I'm going to share with you a recorded video about step-by-step application for undergraduate. The next one, which is probably the most difficult one for many of you, is your previous education information. So you don't need to provide documents at this stage. You don't need to provide like a copy, or you don't need to scan, you don't need to upload, but you need just to fill the form in terms of what qualifications you have from your country of origin or from any other country. So you need to fill the form in terms of if you have a high school diploma, what kind of high school diploma, what kind of university degree, what kind of pre-university course, and in which subjects. So that could be a difficult part of form to fill. For some of you, not for everyone. Some you may find it quite easy if you have everything ready. But today I'm going to talk more about how to collect those documents so that you can fill the form. If you have any previous employment, you can add. If not, there is no issue. You don't need to have previous employment information to go to university. If you have, there is a place in the application form to fill in terms of your previous employment information. Then you need to choose 5 university courses. It could be in one university, it could be in different universities. Again, not a difficult task to do if you know what are your interests, and if you know what are you going to study in the university, that wouldn't be an issue to kind of do 5 courses to fill the form. You need to write a personal statement. This year, UCAS, they have changed the way that you need to write and submit your personal statement. So there are some specific questions that you need to answer instead of writing a personal statement. There are question boxes that you need to fill, and they basically made it easier to write your personal statement. We will be talking about personal statement and how to write a personal statement and what to include in your personal statement probably next week. But again, that's not a difficult part. Don't be worried about your personal statement. You need a referee, and that referee could be anyone who works with you as a teacher. It could be any of Olive teachers. It could be me. It could be your college teacher. It could be a teacher from the past in your country. If you went to school or if you went to university, you can ask them to give you a reference. But the easiest one is someone who you work with at the moment in Olive, in college, somewhere else, and and they are based in the UK. So that makes everything much easier. And then the second part, which could be challenging for some of you, is proof of language. Okay, but the good thing is, if you are going to, when you are submitting your application in January, you don't need to have your language qualification that time. You will have time to provide it later until probably June next year. So which means from now, you have about a year time to improve your English and to pass any test that you would like to pass, whether it's functional skills, IELTS, or other Trinity, and other courses. So that's the good news, okay? If you don't have the language requirement, you don't need to have it by the end of January. You will have time around June next year to provide your language certificate. So this is the list, and those are highlighted are the ones who, based on my experience, these are the most difficult ones, because the rest are just filling forms. And we are going to talk about these two today, and I'm going to give you more information about different options that you have in terms of language learning and different options that you have in terms of providing or meeting the criteria, the requirements for entry for an undergraduate course. Any question before I move on to the next slide? Anyone has a question? Just based on what we said. Okay, I'm going just to rename Malaka to. Okay, great. So let's move on. One of the most kind of frequent
Sorry, I have got a question, if you don't mind.
Yes, please go on.
Because the deadline for September 2024, it is 30th of June. So if I apply this year for 2024 and I haven't received any offer, so can I apply for next year?
Yes, there is no problem with applying. So when did you submit your application for this year, Sophia?
Today or tomorrow. Because
you are going to,
yeah,
you are going to do late submission.
Yeah.
Yeah, so just submit it. Then do you know about the clearance or clearing option that you have?
No, I don't know. If you explain me, I would be really thankful.
Yeah, so probably during the break, I'm going to give you some information about what is the next step for you if you are going to submit tomorrow as a late submission. You still have some chances, okay? You still have some chances, but not for every university. So you have less number of chances, but you still have some chance. And then the other one is if you submit your application this year, or even if you don't submit your application this year, you can submit your application next year. So there is no restriction, there is no limits in terms of how many times you can apply for university. So don't be worried about that.
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, I have a question. Yeah,
Please. Yeah.
it is said that sooner you submit your application is better. Yeah, it means your chance of acceptance is more if you submit your application sooner. Is it right?
No, well, it's not about your chance, Ali. If you submit your application before the deadline of 29th of January, you have more options because many universities, they close some of the courses after January. So if you submit your late application, so in January, you have 500 options, but if you apply after January as a late submission, probably you are going to have 200 options. So some universities and some degrees, they close their application process at the end of January because they have enough applications. So that's the difference. It doesn't mean that you have more chance. You have more options in terms of the number of university courses that you have to choose from. Is that clear?
Okay, thank you.
No problem. For Mulat, I answered that question, Mulat, later during the break or once we get towards the end of the session in terms of what courses to choose if you have diversified academic skills and work experience. Okay, so have that deadline in mind because always having deadline is a good thing because it gives you some direction and some kind of goals to plan for. But in terms of language learning, one very common question that I've been asked quite frequently by students is how we can learn English or how we can improve our English or where to go and what are different options that we have to improve our English and pass the test that we would like to pass to enter university. So on this slide, you'll see the six options that you have at the moment. There are other options, but these are the main ones that you have at the moment. And I'm going to explain each of those options and the benefits or the disadvantage of each one, which one could be easier, free of charge, cheaper, more expensive, quicker, more lengthy, and so on. And I'll give you some advice about the best way to use your time from now until the deadline or until the time that you need to have your language requirement. What is the best kind of approach? What is the best kind of formula to improve your language proficiency in order to enter university? So the first one is ESOL or functional skills. So many of you already know about ESOL or functional skills. Some of you are students of ESOL or functional skills in a college or at any other setting. We are going to talk about pre-sessional English courses. So some universities, they offer their own language training and language and you can use that option if you can. There are many IELTS preparation courses. Here in Olive, we have already an IELTS preparation course. There are other options provided by other organizations that you can use. Thankfully, more and more, we have online language learning platforms. Many of them, they provide language courses at different levels up to IELTS, and many of them are free of charge. In many cities in the UK, especially the mainly large cities, community and charity centers, they have their own language learning courses starting from entry, pre-entry level, and many of them, they offer different levels up to IELTS preparation. And the last option may not be the practical option for many because it's expensive and it takes money. It's about private tutoring and private language courses. So I'm going to explain each of these in the next few slides, and I'm going to give you some links if you are interested to follow any of these options. And at the end, I'm going to give you my experience of the best combination if you would like to improve your English as quickly as possible. Okay, so the first option, ESOL or functional skills. So many of colleges in the UK, or most colleges in the UK, they provide ESOL or functional skills course. The good thing is it's in most of the cases, it's free of charge for people waiting for their asylum claim, or people who have refugee status, but they are out of work, they are unemployed. So which means you don't need to spend money. The problem is in many cities, especially in large cities, there is a huge waiting list for that. So if you submit today, probably they are going to put you on a waiting list, and you need to wait for 2 months, 3 months, 5 months, 6 months until there is a free space for you to join the course. So like I said, it's free for in many cases, but there is a waiting time. You have different levels. ESOL from very beginner, pre-entry, entry, 1, 2, 3, level 1, level 2, and it's a kind of class-based kind of teaching, and you learn English for academic, for study, and for work purpose. So the quality of teaching is quite good in terms of the curriculum. So if you are not registered for an ESOL course or for a functional skills course, and you are interested to find a course, I added a link from the government website, and following that link, you can search for ESOL courses in your area. So I'm going to click on that link to see. Okay, so this is the web page. If you go to the web page, and you can add your city, your postcode, your area, your region, and then the course that you're looking for, and it shows you the options that you have around yourself in terms of the language, the course provider. So in this case, I've searched for London, and it shows like different colleges in London: Wakefield, Morley, Hubert, and so you can see the college name, the course. So they have ESOL level 1 reading, ESOL level 1 writing. So you can see the course, the provider, the entry requirement, and all. And if you click on each of these, you can have more information about the entry requirement, the starting time, how long would it take, how to register, and so on and so forth. So if you're looking for any ESOL course to join, that's the website. There are other places that you can search for information. You can just Google it. But the government website, it gives you good information, up-to-date information about different ESOL courses available across the country. So make sure that you search for ESOL courses that are close to you, and that's the level that is appropriate to your level. So any question before I go to the next option? Any question about ESOL course and how to find an ESOL course? No? I can see some microphones are on, but if you don't have a question, I can move to the next slide. So that's clear. The first option is ESOL. Waiting time, but it's free for in most cases. And the good news is you can use level 2 degrees, level 2 ESOL, level 2 functional skills as the entry requirement for university. So they give you pass the exam, they give you the qualification, they give you the paperwork, which you can later use as part of your application process for this, for proof of language. So that's the good thing with ESOL. And I encourage everyone, if you are not in an ESOL course, if you're not ESOL learner, if you're not ESOL student or functional skills student, just try to join as soon as you can. Try at least to join the waiting list as soon as you can. That's important if you don't have language qualifications. The next option is pre-sessional language courses offered by some universities. So not every university But some universities in the UK, they have their own language preparation course. So when you apply, if you say, I don't have the language requirements, like level 2 IELTS or so on, they can offer you, or they may offer you, an internal course provided by the university itself. It's an intensive course between 4 to 12 weeks. So it could be 1 to 3, 4 months, usually during the summer before the course starts. You need to have like a good level of English, because if you are like in low level of like entry level, it would be difficult to improve in just 4 weeks or 1 month or 2 months. So they say this option is for students with like an intermediate, but close to IELTS 6, close to level 2, and then during that 4 to 12 weeks, 1 to 3 months, they are going to prepare you for academic English, basically. As I said, it's mainly focused on academic English, study skills, and so on. And if you are interested in those kind of courses, some universities, okay, you need to pay for that course. It's not that expensive, but you need to pay. Later, we will be talking about different payment options that you may have in terms of scholarships for refugees, scholarships for asylum seekers, and so on and so forth. If you are interested in finding pre-sessional courses, you can use, I added 2 links here. Basically, you can search for pre-sessional course University of South London or whatever, and you will find them. Here, I added a link to University of Salford here in Manchester, a pre-sessional course. As you can see, they have this pre-sessional course for this year. They start from June because they would like to prepare students for September entry. It's between 5 to 10 weeks based on your current level, and it's full-time. And then you can find more information about what you are going to have during the pre-sessional course. So that's the next option. So the first one was ESOL. The next one is pre-sessional. Pre-sessional, as I said, is short, but it's focused on study skills, studying university, academic writing or academic reading skills. But in many cases, you need, or someone needs to pay for that. We will be talking about payments option later, I think next week. Any question about pre-sessional?
Yes, can I ask a question?
Please, not. Yes.
For the pre-sessional English courses, is
Mhm.
there any assessment before that? And the university do an assessment
They
before
usually-
the starting?
Yes,
This
they usually do like it's not a formal assessment. It's just to make sure that you have that around intermediate level, because like I said, if you're not in that level, it's very unlikely to learn enough during 3 months or 2 months or 5 weeks or 10 weeks. So there is like an informal learning, reading, speaking, listening kind of test. It's usually online. Sometimes they invite you to an interview in the university, but yes, there is an informal test. It's not kind of formal test, just to make sure that you meet the entry requirement.
And after the finishing this course, is there any exam and the score for this course?
No, basically, well, if you do like a pre-sessional in a university, most of the time that's just good for that university. So they don't give you like a paperwork that then you can use for somewhere else. Okay,
Mhm.
so it's
Yeah.
just to continue with a degree in that university in many cases. So that's the one. And then the second one, because if they accept you, which means you have that intermediate level, then probably during those 10 weeks, 5 weeks, 6 weeks, 2 months, you are going to make enough improvement to start a university. So it's not like it's very unlikely to tell you after 10 weeks or after 2 months or 3 months or saying that, oh no, you cannot continue with the university degree. they already know your level. They are going to work with you to improve your level in 2 months, 3 months, and then by the time that you finish the pre-sessional, you will be ready to start a university course, a university degree, same level as other international students. Because the other thing that you need to know, there are many students, like a good percentage of students in this country, they are international students. And they come from different countries with different levels of language. So English is not the first language for everyone. So many of, like, they come from China, they come from many European countries, and English is not their first language. And if you speak with them, which I encourage you to go sometimes to university open days and see the language level of other international students. So doing that, you will see that your language is not too low or too bad. So many international students, they come to this country with kind of limited level, like just around intermediate level of language. And then once being here and going to courses, going to classes, continue reading, being in the environment, they can just improve their level of language. So that's the point. To start a university course, you don't need to be perfect. You need just to be able to understand and articulate or express yourself. And then the main thing that you need to have is some intermediate writing skills. So don't think that your English is far from entering a university course. So just if you're around level 1 ESOL, then probably in a few months, you can prepare yourself to start a university course.
So Amir,
Thank you so much.
can I ask a question? Yeah.
Yes, please.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I've checked some of these pre-sessional
Mhm.
courses that they are very expensive. Most of them are something around £6,000.
Like I said,
Uh,
that's the disadvantage of pre-sessional, but later we will be talking about different kind of scholarships available for refugees or for asylum seekers to do these language courses free of charge. Well, basically someone else will pay for that through scholarship. So like I said, it's not free of charge. ESOL and
Yeah.
functional skills, they are free of charge in many cases, but pre-sessional is someone needs to pay for that. But there are options, and in the past few years, we had many students who managed to start pre-sessional courses. Many universities, they have pre-sessional courses free of charge for different types of students, including refugees or asylum seekers. But yes, so that's the disadvantage. It may not be the option for everyone.
Can we take the course before the university offer this course?
Again,
Before the university, before applying for this university.
yeah, there is no problem. You can have, well, if you pay for that, you can do it at any time. So universities will not say you cannot do it now because they are going to charge you.
So
It's better to do it if you would like to continue with the course in that university.
so is it an alternative to an English certification?
Yes,
Is
so if you do it, you don't need to have IELTS. So it's
Okay.
not like have pre-sessional and then have IELTS as well, or have functional skills. Pre-sessional is for those without any exam paperwork, and they want just to continue without going through the. If you do IELTS yourself, you don't need to do pre-sessional, or if you do functional skills yourself, you don't need to do pre-sessional.
Thank you. Thank
No
you.
problem. Abu Bakr.
Hello,
Hello.
teacher. Thank you. I would like to extend to you my deep gratitude for your support and for your this very informative session. My question is, does ESOL and pre-sessional English courses help me to meet the requirement for applying to master degree or not? Or
Well,
this is just for undergraduate?
No, this is Abu Bakr. Well, basically, they help you in terms of improving your language proficiency, okay?
Okay.
But in terms of the requirement for master's degree, the entry requirement is slightly higher than undergraduate,
Yeah.
which means IELTS is the one basically. So
Yeah.
most universities, the only or the main qualification that they accept for non-English language speaking students is IELTS. So some universities, they offer pre-sessional for MSc as well, okay?
Yeah.
So not next week, the week after, when we will be talking about postgraduate courses, I'll give you more information about options for language requirement
Okay, thank you.
of MSc. But that's higher. So with functional skills, that's no. But it's mainly IELTS, but there are pre-sessional opportunities. Like I said, someone should pay for them. So they are
Yeah,
not free
yeah.
of charge. But
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I'll give you some more information about less expensive or other kind of support,
Uh,
financial support that you may have.
Also this applied for ESOL level 2
Yes, so level 2 is not enough for
for
MSc.
master.
Yeah,
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, thank you. Thank you very
no
much.
problem.
Thank you.
Okay, so that's pre-sessional. The second option that you have, just joining, if you are more confident about your language level, if you're around intermediate level 1, close to level 2 ESOL, then probably you can continue with some kind of IELTS preparation course. More increasingly, we have free of charge IELTS preparation courses in different cities in the UK, including the one that we have here in Olive. But there are many other organizations. It depends on the city that you live. In some cities, you have more options, especially if you have like a bigger population of language learners. If you are in small cities, small towns, it's difficult to find these opportunities. But there are many IELTS preparation courses that you can join. The good thing is they are specifically focused for you to prepare for exam and to pass the exam. Because the problem with IELTS is even many students with good level of English, they fail to have like IELTS 6 or IELTS 6.5 because they are not familiar with the exam itself and with the process of exam and the time management and the kind of exam preparation skills and methods. So these IELTS preparation courses, they are specifically focused on, okay, you have 2 writing tasks, and this is how you can manage to write 2 pieces of work for IELTS and pass with 6.5, 6, 7, and so on. Oh, this is the best technique to pass the listening part or to pass the speaking part. It's mainly about test preparation. For that reason, it's not a good option if your language level is not intermediate. So if you're entry, probably IELTS preparation is not the best option. You need to go through ESOL entry and then ESOL level 1, and probably when you're around level 2, that's the time that you can start preparing yourself for IELTS. There are, like I said, there are many organizations, but a good place to start searching for IELTS preparation for people with refugee or asylum seeking status is RefuAid. Probably some of you've heard about RefuAid by now, but RefuAid is the kind of the main language provider for people from asylum seeking or refugee backgrounds. So if you go to their website, they have different types of language programs, online programs, in-person programs, private tuition, and this is one of the options that they have. I'll be talking about these options later, but like they provide private tutoring. So some of those pre-sessional expensive courses that you don't have money to pay for, they have partnerships with some universities, with some private schools, and they can give you access to their courses. It's very competitive, so it's not everyone who goes to RefuAid, they can find a private tutoring or a language course. But especially if you are close to university, if you have a university conditional offer, or if you can show that you've applied for university, it's more likely for RefuAid to give you the chance. But every year, probably close to 600, 700 people from refugee background, they go through RefuAid, pass their IELTS test because they pay for IELTS and so on and so forth. And they enter university or they apply for jobs very successfully. So a very good point to start searching for language options, especially for those you need to pay for and you are looking for someone else to cover those costs, could be RefuAid. But have in mind that they are very popular, they have a waiting list, and they give priority to people who are closer to. So if there is something that you can find in college, then don't go to RefuAid. But if you are in that level of, okay, I need some IELTS preparation, I need some private courses to help me to prepare myself in the next 2 months, 3 months, 6 months, then probably start looking at RefuAid options. They have an online registration list. You can register yourself, enter their waiting list, and they'll contact you once they have free space for you. Again, we will be talking about these options later, but when you have slides later today, you can just start searching around RefuAid webpage to see what what type of support they can provide. They have other employability, job-related support as well that we will be talking about when we get to employment part of our course. So any question about IELTS preparation? Again, based on the city that you live, I suggest you just search for IELTS preparation courses for refugees. Probably if you are in Manchester, there are 2-3 different places providing that kind of support. If you're in the smaller towns, probably that's going to be difficult to find these opportunities. Any option about IELTS preparation? Nazi?
I have a question about all the courses. If someone passed the IELTS or have the ESOL level 2 or something like that, for IELTS there is a time or date to expire, for
Yeah.
example, for 2 years. After this time, everyone who have the IELTS IELTS certificate and it's become expired, they need to again take an exam and have a certificate again, or universities accept the previous one.
No, unfortunately, if your IELTS test has been expired, universities don't accept it.
Even if live in the UK?
Yeah, even if you are in the UK, if you are going to use that paper to enter the university, and if it's expired, they don't accept it.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
so make sure that you apply before the expiry, and that's something, again, if you are thinking of entering the undergraduate, if you're applying for undergraduate courses, sometimes that's a benefit of ESOL or functional skills, because there is no expiry date for like level 2 degrees or those kind of qualifications compared to IELTS. IELTS is better in terms of every university they accept it, but it has an expiry date. Some other qualifications like functional skills or ESOL, they don't have an expiry date. But yes, if it's expired, the universities will ask you to resit the test again.
Thank you so much.
No problem. Okay, so online learning, and this is an option that everyone, I think, you have if you have access to a mobile phone and internet. Okay, there are many different types of apps, web pages, YouTube channels, and so on and so forth that you can start using to learn English and improve your level of English and improve your chance of passing exams like IELTS or ESOL or functional skills. Most of the time they are free of charge. Many of them, they are free of charge. It's flexible, so you don't need to, you can learn from your home. You don't need to go somewhere to attend the classroom. You don't need to pay for that. And it's quite flexible in terms of you can learn based on your time frame. You can learn in the morning, in the evening, in the afternoon, weekend, and whenever you have time, which helps you if you work, if you already work, if you have other commitments like childcare and so on. So online learning is quite a good way of learning. The point about online learning is I understand it's not easy for everyone to learn online, okay? The online learning skills are different with learning skills if you are used to classroom-based learning. So it's not the best option for everyone, but it's a good option to add to any other options that you have or any other activity that you have at the moment. So for instance, if you are going to college for ESOL 2 days a week and 2 hours every day, it's just 4 hours. And 4 hours of language learning is not enough, to be honest, if you are planning to improve your English to that level 2, IELTS 6, IELTS 6.5 level. It may take you years and years, but if you add some hours of online learning to your college or to your IELTS preparation, it helps you to make yourself more exposed to language, and it helps you to improve quicker than it may take if you just go to college. There are many options. I added link to some of them, Coursera, Future Learning, edX. A very good one is Duolingo. If you are not familiar with Duolingo, just go to Duolingo website. You can go through the website, you can go through the app, and you will have more information about Duolingo, but during the Olive term, but they've started to have like a language test, and some universities in the UK, they started to accept Duolingo. So just have that in mind. There are some universities that they accept Duolingo test for entry requirement. So if you're looking for options, those are more practical and you can meet the requirement sooner than like IELTS or ESOL, probably look for universities who accept Duolingo test, okay? We will be talking about those universities as well. But online learning is a very good option. Not just online learning, but I always suggest have a college course and then top it up, supplement it with online learning. And then between different platforms, Duolingo is a good one. And then the other option, and this is again something that I encourage everyone to look for, is many community centers, many charities in the UK, they provide language learning courses from very entry level, and some of them they provide up to like level 2 or even IELTS preparation. So these are again free of charge, quite flexible, they don't have entry requirements. As such, you don't need to pay for it, usually during the afternoon and evening, so you can go to work, you can look after your children, and then you can go to those courses. And the best way to find them is just searching for them, okay? Just if you Google refugee English classes in Bristol, in Birmingham or whatever, you find many of those courses are hopefully around the area that you live. I added some examples for Manchester, Birmingham, London, or in the Northeast. But in most local authorities, in most councils, in most cities in the UK, they have some kind of language learning provision for people who don't speak English as their first language. So I'm going to show you some examples. Like if you go to the link for London, you will see different options that you have. If you're looking for formal ESOL class means you go to college and they give you the certificate which you can use for university. Informal ESOL class, charity and community sector, they have the same kind of teaching, but the difference is they don't have the exam and they cannot give you the paperwork. But they are very good in terms of preparing you to then go sit and pass the exam. And if you are looking for ESOL outside London, so the web page, it gives you whatever information that you need about ESOL preparation in London. If you click on the informal, it takes you to a map of London with different boroughs. And in each borough, especially in the central boroughs of London, you can see how many different charity and community organizations they provide language learning for not just for refugees, for people who need language learning, basically. So make sure that you find, again, if you find a community, a charity center around you, which can help you with increasing the number of hours, because that's the point that I'm trying to make, and I'll explain it later. But the point is, you need to increase the number of hours per day and per week that you're exposed to English language. For many of you, for many of us, when you're at home, we speak our own language. We listen to music in our own language. We watch videos or TVs in our own language. So the problem is, if you're not exposed, if you don't have contact with English language on a daily basis for at least 3 hours, 4 hours, it would be very difficult to improve, even if you go to college, even if you go to, I'm not sure, to university. So the point is, you need to have as many options to at least being in contact with English language every day for a couple of hours, for 2 hours, for 3 hours. And this can help you if you go to ESOL and then at the same time learning online and at the same time having like a charity or community course. So there are links for Birmingham, there are links for if you are living in, I'm not sure if we have anyone here living in Northeast, but if you're in like Hartlepool, Middlesbrough, Newcastle, Sunderland, those kind of Northeast areas, I added a link for you. If the link for your city or town is not here, you can just find it online on Google. If you couldn't, just drop me an email and probably I can find it for you. Any question about language, community learning? Go and find them, okay? It's very important. Most of the students that I worked with, they found these type of charity provision community centers more useful than going to college, okay? A very good thing about these places is they can give you support with other things that you need. So if you're looking for volunteer work, they can find a volunteer work for you. Or if you're looking for any other kind of support with housing issues, with legal issues, they have support, or they can connect you with support that you need. So very good option. Make sure that you look for it and you join one as soon as you can. I don't talk about private courses that much because private courses are easy to find if you can pay the money for that. So probably it's not the option for many of us or for anyone here. But again, I just added that to the slides so that you know that there is always private option. Even if you want just to pass the exam, you can just Google, pay the fee, and then pass sit the exam and pass it tomorrow or even today, this afternoon. So for many of these exams, if you are ready and if you can pay, okay, they are available by private sector, and the only thing is you need to pay for that. So you need to book an exam, level 2 and level 1 functional skills tomorrow and go and sit if you're prepared, okay? But the point is, if you go to college, those colleges, they prepare you for passing that exam. So that's there if you're in rush or if you can pay the fee. But the formula that I suggest everyone to follow is this, okay? So the formula is, because the ESOL courses, as I said, if you are not in an ESOL course in a college now, it may take months, it may take 2, 3, 5, 6 months for you to enter a college because they are busy and they have a waiting list. So don't wait until college is available. The first thing, start as soon as you can with a charity course, with a community center course. So just join them as soon as you can, and they give you some time to connect with English. They have very good teachers. Most of the time, teachers who teach in the charities, they are teachers in the colleges as well. So start that, and then start adding some online learning to that. So you go to the community center 2 days a week, and then 1 day, 2 days a week, start adding some kind of online learning. Start learning from Duolingo for an hour, for half an hour, for whatever you can. Just add to the number of hours. That's the point. Enroll, just register yourself in the waiting list of an ESOL course, because that's important, because you need that exam, you need that paper preparation. And then participate in language exchange, because like I said, many of us, many of you don't have opportunity to practice your English. You go to college, you come back, but there is no one to speak English with. Oh, there is nothing to write English about. So it's very good if you can join some of these online conversational groups. I added 2 very interesting apps. If you don't know them, one is Tandem and the other one is HelloTalk. You go there and then you can find a person that you can just, it's online, it's safe, it's secure, and then you can just find someone who would like to speak English with you. Okay, and then you can offer other people who are interested to speak your language. So there are many people on those apps who are interested to learn, I'm not sure, Arabic. So that's like a language exchange web page or app which you can use to increase again the number of hours and to practice, because if you learn without practicing, it's very time-taking to make progress and improve. There are some other options that I suggest you to do, apart from those 2 options that you need to blend, to mix, to increase the number of hours. Start reading, okay? One thing that I've noticed in my students in university, reading is important, and reading is kind of a skill that you need to practice. And in many courses, if you go to college, if you go to a charity course, they focus more on speaking, listening, these kind of skills, or even writing. But reading is something that you need, that takes time, and you need to start practicing, and your eyes need to get used to reading in a different language with a different alphabet, and then understanding and processing that information. So start reading, even 5 minutes, even 10 minutes, even just, I'm not sure, read a leaflet that you have at home. So start reading and getting used to processing and understanding information in English. Add number of hours by watching TV. And when I say that, it's not about 5 hours or 2 hours or 10 hours. Start small, okay? Start with 10 minutes, start with 15 minutes, and listen to radio and try to process and see if you do understand or not. If you do it every day, after 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 5 weeks, a month, you are going to see the progress and how you better understand English. Listen to radio, and the most important thing, and most of my students who managed to improve their level of English, it was because of working in an environment where you work with people who speak English. Okay, so that's important. If you can find a volunteer work or any kind of environment that you can immerse, okay, you can put yourself in an environment that you don't have any other option but speaking English. Okay, so just when I send you the slides, look back at this slide and start thinking of how many of these options do you do at the moment. I don't think that you do more than 2 or 3 of these 8 bullet points. And then start adding one by one, okay? Just add one more option and try to increase the number of hours that you have contact with English language every day. If you do it, I promise you, in a space of 3 months, 4 months, 6 months, you are going to see the progress. Okay, so I'm going to give you a break, and then in the next part of the session, so that was the proof of language part, which I said could be difficult for some of you. In the next part, after the break, I'm going to talk about education and previous education information and the kind of information that you need, or the kind of qualifications you need if you're planning to apply to undergraduate courses in January 2025. I'm going to stop recording at this stage. I give you, let's see. All right. So in the first part of our session, we talked about one of the main issues that you may face when preparing yourself to apply for undergraduate courses, and that was proof of language. And I gave you 5 or 6 main options that you have And then I spoke about the benefits and then the disadvantage or issues with each of those options. And at the end, I suggested everyone to follow this formula. And this formula comes from experience of working with, I'm not sure how many hundreds of people in your situation. And this is the one that can help you to improve your English to the level of entry university in the shortest amount of time and with the least amount of money. All of these options are almost free of charge. And then the main point, the winning point of this formula is it increases the number of hours that you have contact with language and the consistency. So you have contact every single day. So, and then you are going to see the progress for yourself if you follow these steps on a daily basis shortly, and probably in even less than 6 months. The next part, which we found challenging for many students to meet the requirements, is about proving their academic level in terms of, if you remember, those 8 different levels of level 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, up to 8, and how they can meet the requirement based on the qualifications that they have from their country of origin or any other country apart from the UK. When you fill the form, as I just explained for Sophia, when you fill the form, you don't need to upload your qualifications, okay? If they decide to give you the offer later, probably next year, when like University of Bristol, they decide to give you an offer, then they'll ask, the university will ask for a copy or for a scan of your qualification or degree, the paperwork, which needs to be translated to English if it's not. The only thing that you need to do is just to have information from your degree and fill the form, fill the application form. And then the application form will ask you about, okay, which country did you have your degree from, which university, which college, which high school, and then you need just to type it in. The year, so from which year to which year you were in that university, in that course, in that high school, and your grades in terms of your overall or average grade, and then different subjects, science, physics, chemistry, bioscience, geology, I'm not sure, geography, history, language, whatever you passed, you need to give them like a list of the main ones, not everyone, every single module or every single course that you undertook in your high school, but the main ones, similar to GCSEs. So just think about which one is more similar or connected to GCSEs if you passed anything in science, chemistry, physics, math, language. These are the main ones that they can help you to prove that you have the entry you can meet the entry requirements. Okay. And these are the main kind of degrees or the main kind of qualifications that you need to have one of these at least in order to meet the level 3 or level 4 entry requirements for university. You can have GCSEs, and we talked about this last week, but I'm going to give you some more information now and different ways of finding those courses. So GCSE, as if you remember from that graph, the ladder is level 2, and you need to have like above 50-60% grade in order to have like a good GCSE. A levels, which is level 3, high school diploma from your country. I showed you the booklet. There was a question about the booklet and whether there is an updated version of it. Oh, let me see. Probably I haven't shared the screen. Oh, sorry. I think I forgot to share the screen. Sorry, and thanks for reminding me, Wilfred. Okay, so I start again. So these are the main qualifications, the main options that you have if you plan to go to university, and if you don't have the qualifications that you need from your country. You can have GCSE, A-level, high school diploma, BTech, or functional skills. If you have high school diploma, if you remember from last week, if you have high school diploma and you have good grades, like above 60, 70 average, I suggest you translate it into English and then you contact the university. It doesn't matter which university, but contact a university which is probably you are interested to go and study there. Send your email, send your translated paper to them, and then just ask them, I'm interested in studying bachelor in geography or in science or in nursing. And this is my high school diploma from Iran or from Sudan or from Nigeria. Do you accept it or not? That's the best way of it. It's free of charge, and that's the best way of doing that. And they give you some kind of accurate information. And don't think that because one university said no, other universities are going to say no, because universities are different in terms of how strict they are with their entry requirements. Also, on university web pages, you can find, in most university web pages, you can find information for international students. I'm going just to Google here, just to show you an example of how to search for that. So University of, for instance, Bristol, information for international students. So you can change it with University of London, University of whatever university, but I'm just using Bristol as an example. Okay, so it takes you to the page for international students, and there you can find information about different countries. So I'm going just to add country specific information for international students. Let's see if they have. Yeah, so you can see the list of the different countries that they have. Here, so you go, the university webpage takes you to a page that you can find the list of countries that University of Bristol, they accept students from. So at the very top of the page, you can see Afghanistan. And in 2015 version, and this is in response to question about, is there any updated version of that booklet? That booklet, the latest version is 2015, the one that you have access to. But many universities, they have updated information on their website. Almost every university, they have this updated information on their website. Like in 2015, there wasn't anything about entry requirements from Afghanistan in the booklet, but universities, because we have more and more students joining from Afghanistan, universities, they updated their database for different countries. So you can click on your country of origin or the country that you have your degree from, and then it takes you to different options that you have and how they are going to reassess or reevaluate your degree from Afghanistan. So I cannot give you information, a specific country, specific information, because I don't have information for every specific country. I only can show you how to find information for yourself. So just search for university and search for country-specific information for international students. And most universities, they have a page where they in detail explain what are the requirements and how they are going to evaluate your qualifications. I just posted the University of Bristol, Afghanistan page, and in the chat box, I'm going to post the country-specific page in the chat box as well. And then even if you cannot find information for another university, universities are quite similar. So University of, I'm not sure, Birmingham, they have quite similar criteria as University of Bristol. So if you read one university, probably you have basic understanding and basic information about how other universities function or operate when it comes to international degrees. So I think I had something about a question in the chat box about Iran. As you can see again, you can see information about Iran and how they are going to evaluate or reevaluate the different degrees from Iran and language requirements if you are a student from Iran, and so on and so forth. Different kind of scholarships available if you are looking for scholarships and other country-specific information that you may need. So make sure that first of all, you understand where you are in terms of your current degree. I explained this last week, but again, because we are following that structure of now, you are applying for undergraduate, you are going to some English courses, to a charity course, to an ESOL course, you are doing some online courses, but at the same time, you need to think about how to meet the entry requirements for your academic degree, for your high school diploma level 2 or level 3 qualification. And if you remember from last week, you have different types of options. So first thing is, I'm starting from the last one, number 5, is going to any local college, the same way that you go to college for ESOL, you can go to college for GCSE. You can enroll in a GCSE course. It's free if you're unemployed, okay? And you need to choose GCSEs relevant or similar to the subject that you want to study later in university. So you can go to university webpage and see what kind of GCSEs they need if you are planning to apply for bachelor in computer engineering, okay? So if you are planning to study nursing, probably you need to do science, you need to do math, you need to do chemistry. But if you're planning to study, I'm not sure, law, you need to do some social science GCSEs as well, like humanities, philosophy, history, and those kind of GCSEs. So the type of GCSE that you choose, it depends on what you would like to study later in university. Some of them, they are common for every subject. So language, GCSE English, that's something that everyone probably needs to do. GCSE math is something that everyone needs to do. But the rest are dependent on what kind of subjects do you want to study later in university. As I said last week, the good thing with GCSE is it's a very kind of comprehensive course. You are going to learn everything in detail and over a period of time. But the problem is it takes time, especially if you don't have, like if you're not in your 18, 19, 20, because that's the age for GCSE. People do GCSE normally when they are 16 years old, 17 years old. And they are just focused on their studies. But probably some of you don't have like 2 years of time to just go to college and do GCSEs. So that could be the shortcoming of doing GCSE. But you go to college and everything is like school setting, and it takes you a year or two to take those GCSEs, and which are level 2. The other option that you have is, instead of doing GCSEs, many universities, like I said, they accept functional skills. So you go to your local college and you start doing some level 2 functional skills courses. Okay, they need to be level 2. So if you don't have level 1, you need to start from level 1. And the main ones, which I know many students who manage to go to university with, are functional skills IT, functional skills language, functional skills math. So you need to do these 3, and with these 3, and having some kind of background from your country, you are going to increase your chance of going to university. The other option is BTech. So I'm going to just to see if you go to the page, the link that I provided in the slide, it takes you to the UCAS page on BTech diplomas. BTech, again, it's a degree and it has different levels, but it's an alternative if you're looking for a level 2 or level 3 qualification to enter university. So there are many different types of BTechs, As you can see, there are over 2,000 different types of BTECs. And again, you can choose one BTEC in any of these 16 sectors: applied science, art, business, childcare, construction, and so on and so forth. Just go through the college course and then use the diploma to apply for universities. So, and then the sector, one of these 16 sectors that you are going to choose, it should be relevant with what you are planning to study later. So if you are planning to study management in university, probably BTEC, any BTEC in business can help you to increase your chance. Or if you are planning to do a construction engineering course in university, any BTEC relevant to construction can help you to do it. The way that you can find them, it's on UCAS, and I'm going to show you how to use UCAS search tool at some point today. And then that if you are quite close to university, so if you have your high school diploma, but you need some kind of supplementary qualification to increase your chance of going to the university or studying the subject that you want, then these are the other options. So starting from the low GCSE, then BTEC and then functional skills, which are slightly better options. And then if you are quite close, probably if you have your high school diploma now, or you can pass the kind of language, you can pass the language test, you can pass the IT test, you can pass the math test, and you're confident that you can pass, then access course is a good option. It's a college course, as I explained last week. So you can go to a college, you can do an access course, again, relevant to what you would like to study. In many cases, they don't ask you for a previous qualification. Okay, if you've left the school without having your high school diploma, then you can go to an access course provider. You will sit an exam, an online exam, and the exam is about your general level of English, IT, and math. And if you can pass, they give you opportunity to pass that access course, which later you can use to go to university. When you have the slide, you can go to the page that I've added the link to in the slide, and then it gives you more information that you need to have, or it answers many of the questions that you may have about access course. And as you can see, the main thing is this: it's a nationally recognized level 3 qualification, which means it's between high school diploma and GCSE, which is level 2, and entry to university, which is level 4. So if you are looking to jump this, then access course is something that can help you. And universities, they accept it same as A levels. So instead of doing A level, you can do access course. And you have more information about the right course. And like I said, the main point is the access course should be relevant to what you would like to study. So access to nursing is not the best option for if you're applying for engineering. Access to nursing is good if you're applying for a good option if you're applying for nursing, midwifery, or anything about healthcare. The application process and so on and so forth. So you can find most of this information, but I would like for you to have this in mind, because at the moment, many of you need to focus on your English. Okay, you need to spend 6 months, 7 months, up to a year, just intensively focusing on your English, having different options, and increasing the number of hours that you study English. And then the last option, okay, the last option, which is like the highest option if you are quite ready to go, but you need just that final push, is university foundation year. Again, a 1-year course, level 3, provided by universities. And if you click on the link, it again takes you to more information about the foundation year. And then you go to university, you do the foundation year, and then you continue that course in that university. If you leave that foundation year, it's not good to go somewhere else, okay? So you need to start the foundation year once you are decided that, yes, I would like to study like Bachelor of Engineering in University of Bristol. Then you do foundation in the University of Bristol, and then you continue with that course in University of Bristol. And if you're a student loan or if you're on a scholarship, those scholarship and student loans, they cover the cost of foundation year. One thing else that I would like to show you before we finish for today is the UCAS. Where is it? UCAS search tool. So when you have the slide, there is a link to UCAS search tool. And to be honest, everything, like 99% of information that you need about higher education, undergraduate, postgraduate, entry requirement, language requirement, anything that you need to know about a university course, you can find through UCAS search tool. So you can follow different subjects or different disciplines. You can follow with different courses. You can look for different universities. So however you would like to find information, UCAS has a way for you to find that information. So for instance, you can start with university and colleges. So you will find a list of all universities and colleges in the UK. You can then filter it based on region, based on study modes, online, in person, based on qualifications, and just narrow it down to what you want. So all universities around London or all universities offering accounting, okay? You can start with the degrees or disciplines. So if you are interested in studying accounting, instead of looking for universities first, you get a list of universities offering accounting courses, okay? And then based on subject, based on industry, if you're interested in starting a job in, I'm not sure, let's say aeroplane engineering. So you can start with industry. What kind of degrees can help you to find a job in that industry? In terms of location, based on cities. So if you're particularly interested to study in a specific area of England and you're not open to move, so you can look based on the region. So I would like to study just in London, or just in England, not Scotland, or just in east of England, not west of England. So you can search based on city or based on the region. Let's see, because I know some of you are in Bristol. So if you click on Bristol, it gives you more information about different options that you have in Bristol, 1 or 2 universities that you have probably in Bristol, different subjects that they offer, different opportunities that you have in the city. So make sure, again, a very good place, a very credible place that you can find credible, trustworthy information is this UCAS search tool. When you search for degrees, let's see. Okay, so for instance, if you are interested in, let's say, business, and you would like to study, as you can see, it gives you more information about whether it's full-time, how many years would it take, where is it, where you can start, and more information. I'm just trying to see like a course in marketing, different study options that you may have, undergraduate course or apprenticeship. Like University of Anglia Ruskin University. They have a BSc, a bachelor in marketing. Also, as you can see, they have a 3 years course. They have a 4 years course. So the 4 years one is the one with foundation year. That's the difference. So if you're looking for foundation year courses, so you need to follow the 4 years instead of the 3 years. But if you click on that, it gives you more information about the course itself, about the university, open days. And open days are a very good opportunity to find more information about the university and about the course and talk with some advisors in that specific university. So if you have already decided or you have some ideas about which universities you would like to study, just go to an open day. Just register for an open day. It's free of charge. You go there. They're always very welcoming. And then you will see other students. It's very good to see your level of language, because sometimes you will see that your level of language is not worse than others, and you speak a good level of language. You can show or you can talk about your previous qualifications with them. So if there is a university around you, or if you are open to just traveling to a university for an open days, and most universities at this time of year, they have open days for undergrad and postgrads. So make sure that you go to one open day, at least to see how a university looks like here in the UK. In terms of accommodation that they have, I'm trying just to find the different courses that they offer. And then they entry requirements in terms of how to apply an entry requirement. And then you can find a list of entry requirements that they have here in terms of they accept A levels. If you have A level, your A level should be, you should have 3 A levels, BBB or BBC, okay? But also, if you don't have A levels, like I said, they accept BTech level 3. So which I just explained about, that could be a shorter option instead of more lengthy option of A levels. They also accept access to HE diploma. They also accept international baccalaureate diploma. They also accept GCSE 4 or 5, and they accept T levels. So the point is, where to find information, UCAS search page, and what information you can find there, everything. But the most important thing for you is about qualification requirements, to see what options do you have. Then you can decide which one is the best option for you. And then there should be something about language requirements at some point. I'm trying to find. There is a place, I'm sure, that they if you just scroll down and search for that. So, and then as you can see, they have information for 2024-5 and then 2025-6, which most of you need that 2025-6. And about the module, the assessment, entry requirements again. Fees, additional information, and the link to the university webpage. So make sure, again, you will use the UCAS webpage, UCAS search tool, to find the information that you need and answer the questions that you may have. Let's see. I have 2 more slides to show before we finish for today. So many of you thinking about, okay, if I go to university, who is going to pay for that? Okay, so there are 2 main types of students. If you have the right to remain in the UK, including if you have refugee status or any other right to remain, you are very likely be covered by student finance. So if you're a refugee, that's for sure. You have refugee status, you can apply for a student loan and student finance. So you don't need to be worried about the costs of your studying in the university. They are going to pay your tuition fees. Also, you are going to have, if you are unemployed and if you don't have any other source of income, you are going to have some extra, so like subsistence allowance to pay for your living expenses, including your accommodation, food, transport, and so on. However, if you are still waiting for your asylum claim to be processed and you don't have leave to remain yet, then you cannot apply for student finance, but you can apply for other scholarships. Many universities, and more increasingly more universities, they provide scholarships for students with asylum seeking immigration status. I added, probably many of you already know about a STAR, but I added a link to STAR Web Student Action for Refugees, where they have a list of scholarships for different universities. We will have a session about how to apply for a scholarship, because at the moment, your issue is not a scholarship, okay? Don't think about money and who is going to pay for that. You'll get support from government for a student loan. If not, you have chance for a scholarship. That's something that we will talk about later. For now, it's all about language. It's all about those level 2, level 3 qualifications. But even if you don't have access to a student loan, as you can see, many universities, all of these universities, they provide some sort of scholarship for refugees, for asylum seekers, for people who are here on the humanitarian protection, and so on, to study undergrad, postgrad. So again, it's a very good page to go and see for yourself about, for instance, University of Bristol. I'm going to here. So University of Bristol, they have a scholarship for foundation, undergraduate, and postgraduate masters. And asylum seekers, refugees, humanitarian protection, they can apply for a scholarship, and they provide the full costs of your study. And also you can have access to their gym for free. And then if you are interested in this, you can click on the page, and it takes you to the university page to have more information about the application process. As you can see, the application is closed for this year, because this year they already gave out the scholarships. But next year, when you want to apply, they are going to open it again if you're going to apply for next year. Most of them are closed for 2024 because the new academic year will be started in a few months. So again, very good place to start searching for. For Sophia, who asked about how about home students, Sophia. So if you are a home student, you will have access to a student loan. And don't be confused. When you are refugee, you are home student, okay? So you are not international student. So all refugees, everyone with refugee status, you are considered as home student. But if you are still waiting for your asylum claim and you're asylum seeker on your paperwork, you are international. So that's the difference. If you have right to remain refugee status, you are home student. Don't be confused because you don't speak English, you are not home student. Anyone with refugee status, you are home student in terms of fees and in terms of student loan. Is that clear, Sophia? Okay, so that's for finance. That's the main thing that you need to know for finance, but that's not something that you need to be worried about too much at this stage. This stage is about language and it's about entry requirement. There are support available once we get closer to the application process. And we had in the past, we had students who were successful in having scholarships, sanctuary scholarships to go to university. Then the final slide, I added some more links if you would like to study more and have more information about different type of support, how to write your personal statement, different type of student finance that you may have access to, how to apply for postgraduate study if you're a refugee or asylum seeking student. And what I suggest everyone to do for next week is, at least if you're planning to apply for undergrad, okay, if you are planning to apply for undergrad, I encourage everyone to check the UCAS web page, start creating your account, start activating your account, and start just playing around to see what subjects would you like, what universities would you like. Starting, if you're ready, starting your personal statement and checking different kind of scholarships that you may have access to. So these are some kind of tasks, not for next week, but at some point you should start, okay? Don't leave it until next year. These things take time. Just start early, as early as you can, and then slowly, in 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, you will have everything ready, and then you will be ready to apply by the end of January. That's it for today. Do you have any question? I understand every week I'm kind of bombarding you with plenty of information, and these just absorbing the information and processing the information takes time. So don't be worried if you couldn't understand it, if you couldn't take everything. Later, you will have time to go through slides, to go through videos next week, next month, 2 months, in 2 months' time. You can just come back to videos, to slides, and take the information that you need from that. But the main thing is just have some plans in mind, okay? Language learning, different options, qualifications, different options, and preparation for university applications by next year. What was your question, Mulat? I can't remember your question by now. Sorry about that. So I'm going to answer Wilfred's question first. Have you applied for university this year, Wilfred? Do you have a live UCAS application? Could you hear me, Wilfred? Do you have a live UCAS application? Okay, great. Well, if you've already registered your application for 2024-2025 academic year, many universities during the June time and July time, they open clearing opportunities, and then the only thing that you need to do is just check university website. So if you go for UCAS clearing dates, I'm just going to send it to as you can see, Friday, 5th of July, 2024, which is in less than 2 weeks' time, they are going to open the clearing. And universities during that time, they fill any places that they have still empty. Okay, so they have 40 places, 35 students registered. They have four more places that they would like to fill during the clearing season. So if you go to this page and if you follow the link here, you can find more information. But the point is, the clearing process takes place over phone. Okay, in most cases, you need just to call the university and then just speaking with someone, and then all the clearing phone numbers and information is available online. So you need just to talk with them. You give them your UCAS registration number. They can check your profile, your application, and if you can meet the criteria that they want, they can offer you the course or the position that they have empty. The other way of just apart from UCAS, which you can find all the information there, just searching for clearing 2024, and you can see all the universities, they have their clearing opportunities and dates and phone numbers listed. So if you are planning, for instance, to go to University of, I'm not sure, Coventry, this is what you need to know about the University of Coventry clearance and how to prepare for clearing and more guidance that you need to have. And there is always like a phone number that you need to call and speak with someone from university, and they can check your profile and see if you can be offered that position or not. The other question was my question was, what if I have multiple academic skills and work experience background? So if you come from different types of, if you have different types of skills, the first thing is just think about what do you like, what does interest you, what is your personal interest. So someone may have done some engineering course in the past, but they don't like to continue that, just think about what kind of jobs, what kind of profession, what kind of careers you would like to pursue in the future. And then you just choose your next academic course based on that. The other one, just think about the job market. What kind of jobs are going to be more popular in the next 5 years, 10 years, 20 years? And then the third one could be about what is available around you, because for some courses you may need to travel to a different city to move to a different place, and you may not be prepared, but have a combination of these three. What is your personal interest? What is going to be more popular in the job market? And what is available around you? And based on these three, decide what is the best option. But don't think that because you studied something or you worked in some specific jobs or in specific industry, you need to continue with the same thing. No, the education system here is quite flexible. Okay, so that's it for today. I'm going